Have you ever met someone who made you feel calm the moment they spoke? Someone who seemed to see the part of you that most people overlook. You live in a world that rewards loud voices and fast answers, but there is a different kind of strength in being gentle, patient, and truly present. Anyone who becomes involved in their community becomes involved in their own future. Fred Rogers. Remember Mr. Rogers, the kind and gentle man who made a TV show called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. But Mr. Rogers was much more than a TV host. This is the true story of a quiet man who turned television into a safe place for millions of children and taught the world that kindness is not weakness. His journey will show you how patience, empathy, and presence can change lives, including your own, and untap your potential. Welcome to Untapping Your Potential, where we will share with you motivational stories, motivational figures, comeback stories, and public speaking tips that will keep you growing and inspire you to take action. Fred McFeely Rogers was born on March 20th, 1928 in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. As a child, Fred was often sick, and he spent long stretches indoors away from other children. His asthma kept him from running and playing like most boys his age. This quiet and solitary childhood could have made him bitter, but instead, it gave him something rare: the ability to listen to his own thoughts, the ability to notice the feelings of others. And he found comfort in music. His parents gave him a small piano. He learned to play by ear before taking lessons, and music became his first language of expression. He was shy and easily hurt by teasing. In those moments, he wished someone would simply acknowledge his feelings, not try to fix them, not tell him to stop, just say, "I understand." That longing stayed with him for the rest of his life. And after high school, Fred studied music composition at Rollins College in Florida. He planned to become a composer. And then everything changed in 1951. He visited his parents' home and saw their new television set. The programs were loud, flashy, and often mean-spirited. And Fred was shocked by how this powerful new medium treated its audience, especially children. He later said, "I got into television because I hated it so, and I thought there's some way of using this fabulous instrument to nurture those who would watch and listen." Fred began working at NBC in New York. He started as a floor director for programs like the Katie Smith Hour and the NBC Opera Theater. But he wanted more than technical experience. He wanted to shape the content. And in 1953, he returned to Pennsylvania to work for WQED, the first community-supported public television station in the country. And there, he helped create the Children's Corner, a live program hosted by Josie Carey. Fred worked behind the scenes as a puppeteer and musician, and slowly he developed the gentle, thoughtful style that would define his career. While working on the show, Fred began studying the Pittsburgh Theological Seminary. He later became an ordained Presbyterian minister, and his ministry would be different from most. Instead of a pulpit, his congregation would be made up of television viewers. His message would be simple: every person has value. In 1968, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood premiered nationally on PBS, and the show stood out immediately. It moved at a deliberate pace. Fred spoke directly to the camera, creating the feeling that he was speaking to just one person. He took the time to listen, even pausing in the middle of a sentence. It gave the viewer space to think. He affirmed his audience with sincerity, and almost every episode included phrases like, "I like you just the way you are," or "I'm glad you're here." These were not empty lines. Fred meant them, and the children could feel it. Fred also believed in naming feelings instead of ignoring them. He talked openly about sadness, anger, fear, and joy. In one memorable episode, after the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, Fred explained what the word assassination meant. And he acknowledged that the news could make people feel scared or confused. And then he reassured his viewers that it was okay to feel that way, and that adults were working to keep them safe. The show was never afraid to address difficult topics. In 1969, when racial tensions was high in America, Fred planned a moment that would speak louder than any speech. He invited Francois Clemens, a black actor who played the neighborhood police officer, to join him outside on a warm day. Fred sat beside a small wading pool. He rolled up his pant legs, placed his feet in the cool water, and smiled. Then he looked at Francois and said, "Come join me." And at that moment, many public pools were still segregated. And for two men of different races to share the same water was in some places unthinkable. And yet here it was, happening in the quietest, kindest way possible. No shouting, no anger, just an invitation, a smile, and the two pair of feet in the same pool. It was a moment of television history, a simple scene that showed millions of viewers what equality could look like. There are three ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind, the second way is to be kind, and the third way is to be kind. Fred Rogers. Behind the scenes, Fred was exactly the same person. He answered every letter sent to him by hand, often writing pages in response. He visited sick children in hospital, sometimes bringing his puppets to comfort them. When he learned that a young boy named Jeff Allinger, who used a wheelchair, admired the show, Fred invited him to appear in an episode. They sang "It's You I Like" together, smiling and laughing. And that moment, like so many others, was unscripted and deeply genuine. Fred's daily routine reflected his values. He woke up at the same time every morning. He prayed for people by name. He swam laps at the local pool. He maintained his weight within 1 pound for decades. His discipline was not about control. It was about making space in his life to be fully present for others. Over more than 3 decades, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood aired nearly 900 episodes, and the format stayed the same. A simple visit to a safe place where the viewers was treated with patience, respect, and kindness. When Fred retired in 2001, his influence was felt far beyond television. Adults who had grown up watching him often said his words stayed with them in moments of fear or self-doubt. Many became teachers, counselors, or parents determined to pass the same message of unconditional worth. Fred Rogers proved that slowing down in a fast world is not weakness. He showed that affirming others sincerely can leave a mark deeper than criticism ever could. And he reminded us that naming and accepting our feelings is the first step to understanding each other. In a world in which you can be anything, be kind. Fred Rogers. In a world that often rewards loudness and speed, you've seen how Fred Rogers chose a different path. One of quiet kindness, patience, and emotional honesty. His life and work show you that sometimes the simplest acts carry the deepest power. Fred didn't just create a children's TV show, he created a movement of compassion that still speaks to you today. Remember, it's in those small moments of care and the simplest actions that often carry the greatest power. Let's take a moment together to explore some timeless lessons from Fred Rogers. Simple and heartfelt reminders that you can bring into your daily routine. Number 1, slow down and be present. What really matters is helping others win too, even if it means slowing down and changing our course now and then. Number 2, affirm others with sincerity. Anything that's human is mentionable, and anything that is mentionable can be more manageable. And number 3, name the feeling, then normalize it. Fred Rogers would often say, the greatest gift you ever give is your honest self. Fred Rogers showed us the power of kindness, presence, and honesty. These lessons are not just for watching, they are for living. Everyone deserves a Fred Rogers in their life. And the most beautiful truth is that you have the strength to be that person for yourself and for those around you. Thanks for watching this video. How would you like to hear more motivational stories consistently? Do me a favor and support the channel by sharing and commenting below. And please make sure to like and hit that subscribe button to get the latest update. Soon, you will be on your way to feeling inspired.